Yeah, sorry. So Krishnanandji was, he had actually been to Kailash in 2007, 2009. Since then, he has been asking me to take people to Kailash and to Om Parvat, to Narmada, all these holy places, Char Dham, because he was interested that people connect to nature, and there's so much to see in India. One lifetime is not enough. But of course, most of these places are at high altitudes, so it's difficult for an ordinary person to organize all this. That's why he was asking me to do it. I was not interested because most of the people don't realize that this is a risky journey because you're going to altitudes. Anything beyond 6,000 is risky, and we're going till 18,500. So it is risky, responsibility is very high. That's why I was not ready for it. But then he kept on insisting every year, whenever we met or even on the phone. Ultimately, I gave up, he didn't give up. So that's how the romance with the Yatra started. So we're all enjoying that benefit just because of Swamiji. So anyone else wants to say anything? Because I think people will still keep coming. Yeah, you can unmute yourself, Naginder. Yeah, Naginder, you can unmute yourself. Just unmute your button.
Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah. And tell us about your trip to Arunachal.
Okay, Jai Guru, Ajay ji and all participants. I am very blessed that I have met you in Vijayanavan. One thing, and since last 10 years, I am following you on the Facebook side, and I am very happy to share this fact that now I am a biker. This year, we have completed, this year we have completed Ladakh full 3,500 kilometers.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
And
you did Arunachal also, right?
No, that was 2010. It was not this time. That was 2010.
But you did both the places.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about your experiences.
Yeah, it's a fantastic. I love adventurous things. In fact, I am a roller skater, snow skier, and now the swimmer, biker now, and Ladakh return. I'm very happy to share this fact. Second, as Ajay, you are my, inspiration. Now I am doing this headstand, elbow stand, and handstand. I am practicing this thing in my house. Second and third, because we have done this thing, this Ladakh this time, so I was unable to connect you. Before that, in 1986, I have done this Badrinath, Oli, Valley of Flower, Hemkund Sahib, Mana, on track also. So it is nice to connect with you, to follow you, to understand you. And since 2010, I'm following YSS. I'm a student. Still, I am a student, not a Kriya one.
All of us are. But you should take Kriya. That's very important.
Sure.
It's a lot of.
And you are absolutely right that one birth, one life is not enough.
Yeah, I guess
so. Every day, every time. It's wonderful. Thank you, Ajay. And one more thing, I have done this Babajis Cave when it was 150 years of Kriya.
Yeah. So I was there.
Okay. Yeah, then I could not, because that was the day when we went there with Dharananji and Flying Swami of Parvat. And next also after that, we have visited this Ranchi and done once this Allahabad Kumbh, and we are a regular visitor of Noida Ashram. That is Sunday.
For you, it's near.
Yeah. So that's okay. It's.
But were you participating in the Raniket to Babajis Cave Trek for the 150 years?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, you were there. There were so many people, more than 100. So it's difficult to remember.
Yeah, more than 100 in that time. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Sorry.
Because I am a central government employee, so I don't have time for this 50 and all these things. So otherwise, we are following you, we are practicing it,
But
and
good you
we are
came, right?
trying. We are trying. Yeah.
Jay, sorry, Jay, can you repeat again your experience of Babajis Cave, because
Yeah,
it was not
sure.
recorded. Just yeah.
I can repeat 100 times for you, Ajay. So it was a great experience for me. I'm 51 years old. I'm with the corporate life for almost 27 years in logistics. So I was in logistics. I was not able. I was finding it, very tough to climb the last 3 kilometers of, the trek. And Ajay actually held me through. He did not hold my hands. He said, "Jay, you should walk this step, that step." But finally, the way he pulled me up and pulled me down, it was the help of both Ajay Baba and Mahavatar Babaji. Both.
Actually, Vahan,
He's a very, person who is very transparent, very open, and he puts his foot down because working with people with different cultures, if I'm from South, there are people from Jaipur, from Delhi, Bombay. Everybody has to pulling Ajay in different directions. But this gentleman put his heart and mind and soul into our trip, and he made it so enjoyable, even with temperatures at -2 degrees in Kukuchina. He got us hot food, and I was really surprised how he was able to do all this logistics. So I'm in the logistics business for.
actually, this trip was done by Swamiji so many times, and I was one of the guides. For me, it was easy. I just had to copy paste whatever Swamiji did. So it was not really my brains. It was actually Swamiji's training, and that is what has had. So all the drivers are known. They also have been through Swamiji's training. So everything is already ready-made. I just had to participate, and then things happen because it was already done up. Everybody knows their role. So we had a good team, and of course, everybody who was participating were really cooperative. We actually had bath in the Gogash River, which generally we don't allow for participants, but this time, because we were few in number and plus we were in a more isolated part, we were able to take part. So all of us enjoyed a dip in Holy Gogash. We also enjoyed a bath in Gola River, which is the same river where Rishi Markandeya used to take bath daily when he was meditating. He used to meditate near Khatgodam. So all these places are very holy. So we were very fortunate to have gone through those places. There's one more river, Kosi, but we reached there by night. So we were not able to take a bath there. Otherwise, we were planning to take bath in 3 rivers, but we managed to take bath in 2 rivers. So that was something we all enjoyed. And though it was ice cold, nobody wanted to come out from the river. So you can imagine how holy those rivers are. And one of them being Gogash, especially close to all vices. So that was one great experience for all of us. Of course, on the sly, whenever we, as guides, we used to take other people, I and Ramitji used to take a dip in Gogash when everybody else used to move forward. So Ramitji used to wait for me, and we both used to take a dip. So that was unofficial, but we just couldn't resist not taking a bath in Gogash. Imtiaz, you want to say something? Imtiaz, anything? Or anybody wants to say anything? Mathur to you?
None of our yatris are seen, neither Naniket.
Yeah, they are not still joined.
Dharavat. Nobody is seen here. What happened to your
You should put
top
up.
team? I am the last man standing. The last man came first, and
Why don't you put a message to them?
top team is not seen.
Why don't you put a message to them?
Your Pink Panthers are missing. Your Panthers are missing.
All of them are missing.
Only the person whom we want to give it to Leopards is with you.
Yeah, but why don't you just put a message?
I have put both the doctors in. I have only their numbers.
Okay, no, just put in the group. Just put in the group.
One person said he is traveling. He's in Pondicherry or somewhere.
No, but he was not in our group. We just met him on the street.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was actually not in the group. But doesn't matter. We can keep talking. But try. Just put in the group that.
Sure. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll text both the doctors in Bangalore.
Yeah. Renuji, would you like to say something? We can all unmute ourselves because this is just an informal thing. So there's nothing really happening other than just talking. Anyone wants to say something about your own experiences of a trek or something where you all have been? Am I audible to everyone?
Yeah, sure.
You can put on your videos. No problem.
Yeah, JJ, I just wanted to know, did you get snowfall there?
See, we missed the snowfall, but we saw large chunks of ice in many parts. So we were playing with the ice. They almost tried to threaten me with the ice on my camera, throwing it on my camera. But we were able to, even Dronagiri Ma temple, near the temple, we had a lot of ice. So that was, this was the first time I've seen ice. Because otherwise I've been there 38 times, but I couldn't see ice. This time we could. So even at Raniket, we had large clumps of ice. And a lot of trees got damaged because of heavy snowfall. Trees broke and then fell down. So imagine what would happen to a human being. It was heavy snowfall. So a lot of trees got damaged. They just broke and fell down, especially the pines. So that shows us how dangerous snowfall can be.
Can you share some pics in the group also?
Sorry?
In the Rich Gypsyss group, WhatsApp group. If you can post some pics. I think I missed joining the WhatsApp group for the trek. I thought it's a different trek. I missed it.
I didn't get your name, but.
Nazma.
Nazma. Hi. Jay. Okay. Yeah, you should have just joined the trip. I'll put the photos in Rich Gypsyss.
Yeah, I wanted to, but it was full before I came to know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's why now I'm shifting to this thing, Telegram. So I'll be putting. I've actually invited to Telegram. So Telegram, there's no limit on the number of people. At least we don't face this problem of it being full and all. So I'll put in Telegram also, but I'll put in Rich Gypsyss a few photos of this thing. And I'm making a video of all the clippings, joining them together. Then I'll be putting a link, but that will take time. So you can enjoy that video. That will be something. Even when they were playing with ice, I'd taken a video. It wasn't a tough track for me, but they managed to do it. Sorry, Jay, you were saying something? Sorry. Jay, you were saying something? Yeah, Nazma, we are planning Char Dham now. So we are going to do this thing, Atri Muni Cave also, because we were interested in that. And then while returning, we'll be coming via Dwara.
Yeah, but for me, dates are important because my fast is there till 3rd.
No, this will be in May. This will be in May. Because,
My Eid is also going to be. I mean, from April, my fasting is going to start till May.
When does this thing get over?
I think first week of May.
Yeah, first week of May. Anyway, we can't go because there'll be heavy snow and the ice will still be there. It'll always be after the first week. So second week and all.
Yeah, but let me know in advance because I'll have to.
Of course. Yeah, I will.
Also.
Yeah. So we'll go to Atri Muni Cave also and Babajis Cave. While returning, we are coming via Parvat. So anybody who has missed out on Babajis Cave can come. And we were lucky that Babajis Cave was open and the ashram also opened one day before we came. So this batch was really lucky.
For 2 years last year the ashram was closed.
No, even last years. I went both the years, but they didn't allow me inside the gate.
Yeah.
They didn't open the
cave
gate.
was open. Last year cave was open when I went.
No, cave was open.
But the ashram is closed. Yeah, ashram is closed.
So this time all 15 of us could go into the ashram. So that was one good thing. And everybody, most of them were first timers. They have never been doing a trek like this, but all of them managed. And we had only one single lady trekker, but she also managed to do it well. And we had a first timer who is not even a member. He just came because of Babajis Cave, and he managed to walk from Kathgodam to Babajis Cave. So it's all Babajis grace. So Satish, you would like to say something? Satish? Any of y'all, even Renu or
Yes.
Sham is also here. Yeah,
I'm enjoying listening.
sorry. Yes, sorry.
I'm enjoying listening and
Yeah, but good to see you.
and getting all the experiences
Uh,
from the house's mouth.
no, I mean, for me, this is not a big trek. Atul knows we have been higher up, like Om Parvat and all, and Sandakphu are real tough treks. But it's always good to start somewhere. So
about 8 to 10 years ago,
yeah,
when I joined with Swami Nirvananandji from Ranikhet to
yeah.
uh,
Babajis Cave.
yeah, it was a 2-day, but I
Yeah.
could not complete for second day.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I remember you were struggling with it.
yes,
But that's okay. You tried your. But this time we are making it. We made it more secure because there are hotels on the way, and what Swamiji took was a tougher climb. So
yes.
this is another route, and it's easier. And there's a lot of descent, so it was much easier for people.
But seeing my age, you know, I'm
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
So seeing my age,
Yeah.
children were very restrictive
No.
about.
Yeah, but you did it. You still did it a few years. So that's good.
But the spirit is there. I think body will cooperate someday.
At least you should do the cave part. Okay.
Yes.
That's easy compared. Prafulla, would you like to say something? Anyone can talk about their experiences.
Hi, Ajay.
Yeah, hi Shah. How are you?
Hey.
Yeah,
Thank
tell
you.
us about your experience because you were the Jeep member, like Jay. Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to do trekking only because
Yeah.
of some health problem. I came by Jeep.
Yeah.
Next time I will try.
Yeah, next time you should. Now you know it's easy.
Oh, now it is okay. I feel wonderful.
Yeah.
Arranged very well here.
Thanks.
So, excellent.
Thank you. So tell us about your experience of the trip.
Experience. Anyhow, I tried from Donagiri, I tried walking.
Yeah.
So because of I thought I will get some injury because I had some injury in ankle.
Okay.
So I afraid of doing it, but tried it, made it successful. But it is very nice.
Yeah.
So a wonderful experience. Next time I will try.
Yeah. Next time
When you are planning for Char Dham?
Char Dham will be in May because Nazma is keen about Char Dham, especially Atri Muni Cave and all. So she's and many others wanted to do Char Dham. So we are going to do it in May. So that is when the Char Dham opens up. Now it's all full of snow. You can't just go there. So that can happen only from second week onwards. So we're going via Haridwar. While returning, we're doing Atri Muni Cave, and then we're going to Tunganath also, one of the Kedars, Panch Kedars. And then we're coming to Babajis Cave and then coming back to Delhi. So it'll be a round trip. It won't be a straight.
No, it is all by walk or some.
No walking. Partly walking, yeah, because you will be going by vehicle. But Char Dham being at high altitude, will not be taking a helicopter because it's bad for health.
Acha.
We'll be either taking a mule or walking to Kedarnath and Yamunotri. Gangotri, the vehicle goes till Gangotri. And
Acha.
Badrinath, the vehicle goes to Badrinath. So it's only 2 dhams that we have to walk. And
How
Yamunotri is not very high, but
how
it's
much
the
distance?
way.
How much distance it will be for 2 dhams?
No, in the mountains you don't count distances. It takes the whole day to reach
Acha,
Kedarnath. Yeah. So you'll have to spend the night in Kedarnath.
Acha, okay.
And then you're coming back again. So the next day. Yamunotri is not very tough, but the climate is very tough there. It keeps on fluctuating. And you get hailstorms and all that. It suddenly becomes very windy. The mules panic. There's thunderstorm and all that. So Yamunotri is a more of a natural calamity type trade. So that is one thing. But Gangotri and Badrinath are very easy to go. So once we go to Badrinath, we'll be going to Mana, Vyasmuni Cave, Vasudhara Falls. So there'll be small treks. Except for Kedarnath is the toughest in that route. Tunganath also, the vehicle is going right to the top. Only last 4-5 kilometers or 6 kilometers we have to trek, which is also high. Tunganath is very, very high. It's higher than I think Kedar. But because we have near Tunganath, we are doing that also. So we are not restricting ourselves only to Char. Then also Nazma wanted Atri Muni cave. That is where Anusuya Devi and Atri Muni used to stay. So that also will be covering. And of course Babajis Cave.
So while
longer trips.
coming back, we will visiting.
Yeah, we'll be coming back to Babajis Cave. By then we'll be acclimatized, so Babajis Cave will be very easy. So that's how. So all of you all should come to Char Dham because that's right now we're doing Narmada also. On 5th I'll be going to Indore. From there we'll be doing Narmada Parikram. This also Swami Krishnananji was keen that we all do. So it's because of him that I've done all what he has asked us to do. So Narmada was pending, so this also is going to happen. Om Parvat also was done. So whatever he has enlisted, somehow I managed to do it. So that's why I feel nice that I was able to satisfy Krishnananji's tough directive.
How many days it will be approximately?
I think 13 or 14 days. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, we are leaving on 5th and finishing on 18th. Indoor to indoor. Yeah, so that is. But that is by bus. We are hardly walking, except going to the temples and all that. So we are crossing the river also in a motorboat. Last of the Sangam. So that is another beautiful holy experience. I've been to different parts of Narmada, but I've never done the parikrama totally. So this will be a good experience for me also.
Right.
Yeah. But tell us, sorry, how was your experience about the ashram? Because it was closed and then you got a chance to go.
Yeah, very. I never thought of going. They will allow us, but definitely it is a very good experience.
Yeah. And you were able to take bath in Gogas also.
Yeah, Gogas is a very. I never thought it will be so much cold.
Yeah,
because
it's very cool.
We were not in the walking team, so just by coming through jeep,
it's more cold. It's more cold.
Immediately we took bath. Taken bath. It is very good.
And it rained also. We were expecting rain. It happened, but it happened at night, so we were lucky.
Right.
Yeah.
Kukijina, what was the temperature that night?
It goes to 1, 0. Yeah.
Achha.
Especially when it rains, it goes even -1.
Achha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
There was hailstorm also.
Yeah.
In Kukijina.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
anybody else? Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
And we thought we were gone. We were when from the bottom of the hill, Babajis Cave. We were going ahead. You came by late, no? So that time you faced some tantric. They were telling afterwards some.
Yeah, actually, there's one. See, we had an older route, and one tantric came and settled down there with his wife and all, as a chai shop and all. He destroyed the farmer friends and all whom I know of that area. So even the houses got destroyed, they migrated. He even beat up the wife of one of the farmers when the farmer was not at home. So that guy tries to influence everyone. He scares the drivers. So the drivers also dare not go beyond his point and all. So that's why I was asking.
Any dispute you faced with him or something?
No. I see personally, I have no dispute with him. I even met him. I met his wife. We even sat together and talked and all. I have no personal dispute with him, but Biases has deviated and made a new route just to avoid it.
Okay.
So if as Biases members, we all have to follow that, and not and of course I'm not scared of all those tantrics and all. So the jeep drivers come when I'm there. Others they don't come down to the point where we are. That's why I wanted both the jeeps to go together.
Right.
Otherwise that guy, because they are scared of him, they don't go beyond that area. I think the tantric is scared of me, so that's why he allowed us to go.
Nice, very nice experience, Ajay. Thank you for arranging a wonderful trip.
Yeah, it is Nirvananji's pet dream, that trek.
Definitely, I will join with you in the next trip. I will try.
Yeah, we should be doing it.
Okay.
That is, of course, God willing, because nowadays we just don't know how things will happen. Understanding what is happening around us, it's better to enjoy when we can, rather than regretting later on. Paneer, good to see you, Paneer.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, Jay. Sham, I'll just talk. Let's ask Paneer. Paneer, can you tell us about your experiences of the Himalayas, Kailash and all? Paneer, you can hear? Okay, Parvati? Anybody wants to say anything? Divakar also. Paneer, actually we met when we were going to Kailash. So we, because of the toughness of the terrain, we all become friends automatically in that hard terrain. So we climbed up to 18,500 feet and then descended. So that's something. And when we went, we had a problem. Our operator was not good. It was unethical. So we all had a problem. So Paneer was also part of that. He also had that experience. It's not a good experience. That is why Swamiji wanted me to start organizing. A lot of agents, tour operators are unethical, and they try to make money through unethical means. So that is why Swamiji was insisting that I help out. It is not an easy this thing, and it's a dangerous route also, because they just since we are outside India, they can create trouble to us. You have to face such things. End of the day, I changed the operators, and now things are much better. That is why you keep experimenting with different operators and come to a conclusion where you get a good operator. That is, of course, again God's blessing. You try, and you get a good operator. Anybody else wants to say anything about any experience they had? Atul already told about his experience, but Atul, maybe some of them didn't hear. You can tell more about Om Parvat and Adi Kailash, and of course, Sandakphu also. Or if somebody wants to say something, and then we'll end, unless you want to say something. Yeah, Atul, please go ahead.
Good evening to everyone. And really, I am not. I am a frequent traveler, but not mountaineering or trekking person. But coincidentally, because of my, I celebrated my 50 years and thought celebrating my life in next different way. So I started reading books and I decided to do a Kailash Manasarovar Yatra, which is said to be one of the toughest. And in this context, I met Mr. Yoga Guru of Ajayji, Mr. Nadeem, in one of the yoga function. And how I got introduced to Mr. Ajay. And then he told me, if you want to do Kailash, the right person will be Mr. Ajay only. Instead of going to any other person, you get in touch with him. And so we started preparing 2019-20. And coincidentally, we all are faced with the pandemic, and our Yatra came to halt. And then we started after first lockdown getting the released. So we said, Ajay, we'll do some practicing session or something like that. So we started with a small one-night stay near Pune in Lonavala, one of the historic bungalow of those who are Marathi may be knowing Mr. Acharya Atri's bungalow, late Acharya Atri's bungalow. We stayed. We were lucky to stay there, and there we did in Khandala the trekking, and then we went to Sandakphu, which was at 18,000 feet height. There, though we could not experience the snowfall, but chilly winds were there, ice were there, specifically at Tumling, where we can see all these 5 mountains at one stroke. That is Kanchenjunga, Sleeping Buddha, Mount Everest, and various others which I named, I can't remember. And
Lhotse, Makalu, the 5 peaks, 5 highest peaks we can see there.
And when we entered into the jungle, we got a name called Blue Panda. So I would, in the old Sandakphu group, my name is Blue Panda, and my one other of my colleague architect is Mr. Sanjay Bade, is called as a Yellow Panda, because we both was to wear blue and yellow color jerkins, and we used to always trouble Ajay because we were his bodyguards in the night by snoring. And it was nights were luxurious, but days were tough. But we all could do very successfully. It was a big group of 27 people, in which 16 ladies were there and 2 kids were there. The rest of the gents were there, and everyone enjoyed very well. And after that, then we did in this September 25th, we went to Adi Kailash and Mount Om Parvat. That was also a very different way of terrain, and almost Ajay could make us. I would say if he's there, not to boost anything, but some energy is there, which makes us to complete that journey.
There's a blessing of Babaji.
Because it's not with my experience. With few of the people who are intellectual in this line, when I showed the face of Ajay, they said he has a very different power in him, and I'm very lucky to be associated with him. And as and when I get a time, though we stay within 1 kilometer of radius, very rarely we meet. But as and when wherever in the traveling, like when last time we was traveling from Hyderabad to Sholapur, we had a cone of ice cream. Last time we had a different type of breakfast. So wherever possible we meet. But only I can say he makes the trip possible. And sometimes he's very tough, clear, and but that is in the interest of our safety. That everyone should understand. And if you understand him very well, I think your yatras will become very successful. And we are looking forward for Char Dham Yatra. But again, in my mind, back of the mind is Kailash this year. Let's see how things prevail.
This time China might open because they need funds. So let's hope they open.
And as you rightly mentioned, he who decides and takes it. Now, a little bit, I'm feeling that I left out this Babajis Cave Yatra because last time we could reach the cave, but Ashram was closed.
Yeah, because Atul also went to Babajis Cave last year.
Ahamapi Gatavan.
So there I would like to say, as there were 3-4 sevaks, means what you call followers from Delhi. Specifically, I would name a female's name. Her name was Mrs. Minakshi. So when she came near the cave, so she said that I will not do this, seeing all the track. So Ajay said, you will do and come back. And when she came back, she held my hands with Ajay and said, even if my family members would have come, this would have never happened. And so this is the power of spirituality, unity, and motivation, and which Ajay has that, and he makes it possible. So
it's not that, it is actually Babaji's best.
Whatever. So you are the medium, I would say, where you complete the circle and make it happen. So it's not boosting anything, which I have experienced, I would say, in the other words. So thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak once again.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Anybody else? Bala, now that you're coming, can you tell your experiences about the Om Parvat trip and because you have done Kailash also?
Ahamapi Babaji Cave Gatavan. I'm talking in Sanskritam so that everybody learns Sanskritam. Nobody is responding.
No, go ahead. We would prefer to see you. rather than
And
just
they
hear.
prefer to see me.
Yeah. So he has done Kailash with me.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he wants to do Kailash again and again.
Namaste.
Jai Guru.
So it is that Ajay took us to Kailash Manasarovar once. So we are going. I'm going to go to Kailash Manasarovar every time Ajay goes to Kailash Manasarovar. That is my commitment.
Because that's one of the most beautiful places. Yeah, Bala,
And that's
please continue.
a very fantastic place. And of course, we had the benefit of Adi Kailash and Om Parvat in last October. So that time we also trekked to Babajis Cave. And of course, we had the experience of, I had the experience of going with Ajay on the Jeep. So who went with Ajay on the Jeep this time?
This time the ladies
The person
just
is there
stood on the
because
jeep.
there was
One lady climbed the
there
jeep.
was somebody with the in the photograph and
Yeah,
the video.
one lady. One lady. She was a Pink
But
Panther.
she is not there with us now.
No, she's not in the group now.
Oh,
I think they're all. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask her whether she paid fees to me to take my seat away from me.
But that was a lovely experience.
Correct. That
sitting
was
on
a
the jeep.
fantastic experience.
It's like going
Because
on
it
an
is like
elephant.
doing a roller coaster ride in a amusement park without paying the charges. Nice. So
Returning the boys climbed up the jeep.
unfortunately, I could not attend on time because 2 or 3 other Zoom meetings were happening. I would have loved to listen to the experiences, but I definitely enjoyed looking at your pictures and I enjoyed being with you virtually. And of course, it was very nice.
Yeah.
And it was very nice to have another Dadiwala like me. Is that gentleman there around here just now?
Who?
One Dadiwala gentleman was there with
No,
you.
Jay left. Jay left
Josie.
because he's traveling. He's going to.
Because I thought I would compete with him as far as the length of the beard is concerned by starting to grow it now.
I and Bala are going to Sandakphu now again because now it's flowering. So we want to see the
We
flowers.
get beautiful rhododendrons there.
Yeah.
And it seems the entire hills of the Himalayas will be red in color because of the red flowers.
Rhododendron.
Especially for those people who are down south. We did Nila Kurunji in the month of August, September last. It was very beautiful to look at the entire hills covered with purple flowers, Nila Kurunji flowers. So it was fully purple lavender. So we are hoping to see full red when we go to Sandakphu.
Tell us more about Sandakphu, Bala, because
Sandakphu, Ajay is the person who actually went to Sandakphu.
Bala, Atul also.
Atul is a person who has actually gone to Sandakphu. But what I've done is I've done a virtual Sandakphu trek by actually going through with Ajay the itinerary and stuff like that. So we are going to look at the sleeping Buddha, which is the Kanchenjunga ranges. We are going to be at a particular point where we see both the Mount Everest and Kanchenjunga from the same place. And it's only one particular point where both the mountain ranges are visible. So that is the second thing we are going to be seeing. And third thing is, because of this particular rhododendron season, it actually flowers only for some 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, we are going to be there during that period of 2 weeks. So the idea is that we see the entire mountains with red color flowers. So that is what we are aiming for. And that is where Ajay is going to be taking us. And what Ajay has promised us is that if the rhododendron flowers are not there, he will stick the rhododendron flowers to all of them so that we get good pictures.
That's exaggeration from his side.
No,
but they're flowering in Babajis Cave area, so they'll definitely be there at Sandakphu also. You could see them in Babajis Cave area. So definitely.
And according to our service provider, in the lower reaches of the Himalayas, it has already started flowering. So the time that we are going to be there could be the right time. So somebody who is looking at a trek, because when you do Babaji's Cave, it is one thing because it is lower reaches.
Yeah.
Lower reaches. So when you are looking at a trek, especially somebody who is aspiring for Kailash Manasarovar, then Sandakphu is a good practice trek because then you are in the 13,000, 14,000 feet level. So you actually make out whether your body is going to be able to stand those high altitude treks, and you can build yourself to it. And unfortunately, Kailash Manasarovar is very expensive. So there may not be a second time. Somebody who spends 1.5 lakhs and who is not able to put up with the altitude sickness is sent back. Then there's an issue because you may not be able to. I'm being very practical because I'm a chartered accountant. It is not very easy for a person to think of spending another 1.5 lakhs to go back to that same place because you're answerable to your family also. And generally, we would be traveling with a partner, either a spouse or a brother or a sister or whatever. So something happens to you because of high altitude sickness, that other person is also stuck because he or she has to come back with you. So it is not a 1.5 lakh ka fatka, if I have to use a Bombay term, but it is a 3 lakh ka fatka. So it is good to do practice treks where you spend 25, 30,000 rupees and actually get your body to work at high altitudes, which will help high altitude treks. Ajay, I hope you agree with me.
Of course,
Yeah,
definitely.
yes,
Bala, also
yes.
tell them why you are successful in high altitude treks and why you don't get high altitude sickness. He
The
walks
reason
very
is
slowly. Yeah.
the reason is very simple. I say follow the trekking guru. I claim that my girlfriend is my first trekking guru, and the second fellow whom I'm depending on the treks is the fellow who's laughing at you with a blue colored t-shirt now. Or is it a green colored t-shirt? Sitting on a green color couch. So this gentleman definitely knows what high altitude trekking is. He knows what precautions have to be taken. He knows what clothing has to be done. He knows what medicines have to be taken, and he advises accordingly. I will not give out the secrets now. Let people join a high altitude trek, then we will tell them. And two ways, they say a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So they will just listen to me and quote, you know, you do this, you do that. But then that may not suit the person at that particular time. I say, join for a high altitude trek and follow all the instructions, then definitely you will be able to do it. Because Kailash Manasarovar also, the way Ajay took us was fantastic. Om Parvat, Adi Kailash, again, it was a 14, 15,000 feet above sea level trek, the way he took us. 16,000 feet above sea level. We didn't even realize that it was 16,000. So that's why I don't remember the number. And lastly, you know, the hand holding that he does. Like I remember Kailash Manasarovar, I was the last person. He stuck with me till the end. He did not leave me midway and say, you come on your own. I'm going. So that is very important. And during, Atul, you'll agree with me that during
Adi Kailash.
Om Parvat Adi Kailash, there were a few tricky portions. So in the tricky portions, the way Ajay did the hand holding and the way he took us across, we were absolutely at peace. He said very sweetly, don't hold my hand, I'll hold your hand. Because he is sure that he will not leave my hand, but I could leave his hand at that particular point in time. So that is the extent of confidence he gives to the trekker. And I would wholeheartedly say that everybody should join high altitude treks and practice. So A, you improve your own horizon and your own thinking. And B, it would be a very, very good practice trek for Kailash Manasarovar, which is going to open up in May, June. And I'm just looking forward to it, Ajay.
Yeah, all of us are looking forward to it.
I will not take more time. I will let others also respond to whatever I have said. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavad. Anybody wants to say anything? Renuji, Vishwas, Divakar, Lalitji.
You can respond to what I said. If you want, I'll speak in Hindi also.
No, I think everyone is bilingual here. What actually happens is we have the impression that Kailash Manasarovar is very easy to do. It is not so. we need practice, and that's why we organize other treks which are much more easier, much more cheaper.
You gain
I'm using the
confidence.
word. Yeah,
It is like you take small steps
Yeah.
at a time.
correct. Because you're spending so much and then you regret midway because you're not physically, mentally prepared for it. So these treks help you
I will just give
understand
one
what
small
are.
example because I claim to be a good teacher. Remember that story where that horse did not have a nail on the horseshoe and the battle was lost.
Correct.
I will not narrate the story again. So what is important is that every piece of the trip has to be organized in such a way that you are able to make it. And like they say, Rome was not built in a day. Like tomorrow also we are going on this walking trip in Mumbai only to build up our stamina and to build up our willpower that we should pull ourselves for another kilometer.
And it is also team building, teamwork, because each one of us has to depend on others. That is a given. So that's
The
why
bonding is there.
we walk together. Actually, the three of us, Atul, me, and Bala, we were actually imprisoned for 1 hour in the American consulate when we were walking there. By mistake, I took a wall of the American consulate.
Even today, I remembered it, and Ajay also remembered it.
Because I was at BKC today. So all three of us were actually kept inside, along with other people who had done the same. If you take any wall of theirs by mistake also on a photograph, they come and take us in, and then take our Aadhaar card, take our numbers, photograph us, and they don't even give us tea. Of course, I don't drink, but then they kept us for 1 hour, and then they realized we are not of any use to
Fortunately,
them.
they did not whip us.
So we had different types of experiences even in Mumbai. So it's fun actually. And then we remember that for a lifetime. So I think all of you all should join for all these activities. You see, it is a given that you
One
grow
minute,
spiritually.
Ajay. I will recommend that anybody who is physically fit should do a high altitude trek, at least 1 or 2 high altitude treks, so that then you go to Kailash Manasarovar more confidently. It is like playing a cricket game. You can't go and hit a last ball 6 because in that you could lose your wicket also. And in the process, you'll lose the World Cup also. Like the Dhoni 6, it did not come just like that. The poor fellow practiced it for such a long time to hit that last ball 6.
Correct.
So all of us should thank Swami Krishnanandji. He's the guiding force because he wants all of us to do Kailash. He wants all of us to do Om Parvat and Adi Kailash, and they are in our country. For us, it's cheaper. I'm saying our country because Tibetans feel they are part of India. I've been to Tibet 4 times. I've never seen any Tibetan say that they are Chinese. They always prefer Indians. They always think that they are part of India. Let me be very frank about this. They don't think themselves as Tibetans also anymore because they know if they are just Tibetans, they'll be occupied. And they have so much respect for our country and they consider themselves as part of our country. So we are just going to our own country. Other people, it's too expensive compared to us. So at least we are blessed. We should do all these places. And then you see how much spiritual growth is there in each one of them. Shall we end here? Unless you have any questions.
Only one more point I have to make. That, the mountains keep attracting you. You do one trek, you want to do many more treks. And when we did Adi Kailash and Om Parvat, I am saying this because most of you here are YSS devotees. I and Atul were not YSS devotees. But yet we went and did the Babajis Cave and we were blessed to do it. And like Atul said, we were not allowed to enter the ashram. So what? From outside, we waved out to the ashram. So that was a good enough experience for us.
And did you show that your
So
friends?
let's not our religious bearing or let not our allegiance, to YSS or to any other god or goddess cloud our minds. All are the same.
Yeah, Naginder, you were going to say something.
Yeah, it was a wonderful meeting with Atulji, Balaji, and you also. And this is my bliss. I was thinking that I must interact with Ajayji also. So next time I will see that if I can join.
No, what I'm saying
Nagendarji,
is,
where are you from?
I am
Delhi.
from Ghaziabad, Delhi.
Oh,
Uh,
then I will come there to eat gajak.
surely.
So let's all try to do Kailash this time. That's why we should do at least Sandakphu, because it's almost the same height as Kailash. So Sandakphu is next month, and it's a very beautiful trek. That's the only trek where you can see Mount Everest, Lhotse, Makalu, and Kanchenjunga. Five high peaks. Out of the 7, we are seeing 5. Nowhere else you can see 5 at one glance.
There are very few,
Yeah.
what they are called 8 rounders. What is it called?
7 rounders.
7
7
rounders.
peaks.
That is,
Yeah, ascending
there are
7
8
peaks.
rounders. There are very few peaks which are more than 8,000 meters. So there are 5 or 7, 8
Seven.
rounders. 7, 8 rounders. So out of that, we will be seeing 4 or 5 of them from
5 of them.
in one particular trek.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
that
very
is the beauty of Sandakphu trek. Plus, we're going to see flowers. It's one of the most beautiful treks I've done. So I'll be making it a yearly trek if possible.
And just to share with the group, I and Ajay have already done something called Gochala, which is almost the same trek. We have seen the Kanchenjunga. Of course, Ajay has done Sandakphu also after that. That's another story. But more importantly, having seen the Kanchenjunga once, I'm not satisfied. I'm going back to see Kanchenjunga and Everest together and all these peaks.
So I would recommend that you all join up for Sandakphu, because that's very, very important for your Manasarovar practice. And it's cheap. It's not even 1/4 the cost of Manasarovar trek. So that will help you all do your Manasarovar. And mostly this year they will open up. Mostly. So if you want to do Kailash, you'll have to practice for that. You just can't walk in and then say, oh, I'm doing my Kailash. It's not so easy. It's not at all easy. So that is why we are giving these treks before the actual trek. The mother of all treks, or the father of all treks, is Kailash. It is tough. You just can't walk. For that, you need practice of altitudes. So I would say all of you should join for Sandakphu, which is happening by the end of next month.
And not only because not everybody has heard us, huh, Ajay?
Yeah.
Only 8 or 9 of us who are present here have heard us. So what I'm saying is, even when your friends are talking about Kailash Manasarovar, at least you should make it clear to them that it's not a piece of cake. You can't just lie on the bed like me just now and then get up and say, oh, I'm going to do Kailash tomorrow and do it, and chalo, God will bless me. They say, God helps those who helps themselves.
Yeah, that's true. It is a tough trek, and only tough people can do it. That's why Naginder and all of y'all, even Atul, I think y'all should come for Sandakphu, because that, of course, Atul has done Sandakphu, so he knows Sandakphu, but others should do it, because Babajis Cave is at a much lower altitude. So just because we do Babajis Cave, it doesn't mean we can do this.
And at many places, you are walking on tarred road.
Yeah.
So tarred road, on one day, you all did 30 kilometers also. That's what Ajay claimed. I don't know how far it's true, but that's what he wrote in the group, that he did 30 kilometers. Walking 30 kilometers is very easy. It's like walking in the park here, because you are at a very low level. But walking 3 kilometers and Kailash will make a difference.
Lot of it. So shall we end here?
Yeah, sure.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Shubharatrihi Punam Milamaha.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.